Shalom and good day all, this is Helium29 back again for another DC review, and in this DC review I'll be covering the Jeremy Adams and Peter J. Tomasi stories in this Green Lantern issue 4. So I chose to pick the variant in connection to, or I chose the variant cover in connection to the Peter J. Tomasi story, which is what you see here now. So first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside with the story? In some essence it does, but I do quite like its presentation, and we of course see the main character in connected to the backstory, which is Korg. And also we have some other Green Lanterns, which we know are out there in the universe, but we don't get to see these characters. But overall, I give the cover a 7.5 out of 10. Now, moving into the area of the art, I will be covering the art for the first story, as well as the backstory, to which we'll have a look around the beginning, middle, and end of the main one. And for the end, or for the backstory, I'll be covering basically the art for the whole story. And also what's happening with the story and characters. So, moving into the area of the first story, we have Hal Jordan meeting up with Sinestro in a diner, and of course there's a situation happening around him with him and his ring, and of course Sinestro thinks he can make it work for himself, but works out that he can't. Whilst this story continues, around the middle mark, we end up getting a couple of flashes turn up on the scene to help Hal Jordan out. As we start to move towards the end, we have a flash catch up again with Hal Jordan after taking out the character by the name of Major Disaster. I'll now move into the backstory and its art. So as we jump into the backstory and art, we meet up with the character of Korg and where he is. He's sort of seen like a bit of an orphan in the back streets of this particular sector that he lives in planet Zila. We do learn that he's got a little bit of tech experience, and he's basically made his own, what's the word I'm looking for? Knuckle dusters of sorts, but infused it with a sort of fear power. The story continues until, of course, we reach the end, to which he wants to learn the truth. Is he Sinestro's son or not? For the internal art, I gave a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you, Jeremy Adams, and also Peter J. Tomasi as well for this story, or for these stories. So, moving into the area of this, for the art, I gave a 7.5 out of 10. Next is the area for the rating of the stories. For the first story, I'll get to that soon enough, and also the second, as we cover the main things of importance that showed up in this story. So we did get a comic reference to Dark Crisis, which connected to one of these stories. Mainly the first story. Time, no indication of time, but that didn't ruin the story quality. The location, we had Sector 2541, which connects to the backstory, and the planet Zila, also connecting to the backstory. Moving into the cast of characters, we had Hal Jordan, Sinestro. We had the Flashes, Barry Allen and Wally West. We also had the character of Carol, who made an appearance. We had the villain, Major Disaster, and of course, Sinestro, of course. Moving into the backstory, we had the character of Nagath, who is basically someone who's trying to rule like a bit of a boss, or I guess, some type of guardian over the character of Korg. So for the first story, I gave a 7 out of 10, and for the backstory, I also gave a 7 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.